Let's start with a quick recap of where we are. We have a land use interpretation map that has been scanned, brought into Quantum GIS, and then georeferenced. We know that it has been correctly georeferenced because the clip region in the scanned interpretation matches the clip region in the GIS perfectly. The pink line is the GIS clip region, and the black line underneath is the version that was on the scan. Now the scan is now a dumb backdrop. It's just a drawing and you cannot query it in any way, shape or form. So before we can query it, we need to on-screen digitize the boundaries as polygons. In other words, we need to trace them with our mouse. Once again, we will follow the text. Step 1. First, we need to create a blank shapefile to hold the polygons that we are about to digitize. Now to do that, we click this button here and up pops the new shapefile layer dialog box, from which we could create a shapefile that could contain polygons, lines or points. You should choose to create a shapefile that will contain polygons because otherwise the appropriate tools for digitizing polygons will not be enabled. Step 2. Next, we need to specify a coordinate reference system that matches the coordinate reference systems for all our other GIS maps. Remember that we're using the Massachusetts mainland system. That's NAD83 ESPG 26986. Now the easiest way to find this is to just type in 26986 and then click the Massachusetts mainland coordinate system to select it. In step 5, we go OK. In step 6, in order for us to be able to enter the information about each land use polygon that we digitize, we need to create a column to hold that information. So type in land use as the new field name. Step 7. We need the type to be text data because we're going to type in things such as commercial, salt marsh and so forth. A text data type could also hold whole or decimal numbers. So valid entries are any number or character such as land use 1, commercial 1 and so forth. However, if we created this column as a numeric data type, any characters that we entered, such as things like commercial, land use 1 or something like that, they would just display as zeros because a numeric column can only contain numbers. So in terms of column width, you really only need to be conscious about the width of a column where your files are going to hold lots of data. Okay, so if it's a huge data set, the column width becomes important, but for a small file like this, it's very safe to make it 80 wide. So click the Add to Attributes list button and we're done. Now, because we're not going to use the ID column, we probably should delete it. In a corporate situation, you would need to be sure that this column was not being used elsewhere in the corporate GIS before you did this. But because this is just such a small project, that's not really important. Okay, so just highlight the field name and in step 10, click the Remove Attribute button to delete it. Now, before we click OK to create this blank or empty shapefile, let's double check its specifications. We need to make sure, number 1, that it's a polygon, number 2, that it's in the Massachusetts mainland coordinate system, number 3, that it has a column or an attribute called land use. And if you've got all that stuff right, click OK and the Save As or Save Layer As dialog box will appear. Okay, in step 12, make sure that the file is going to be put into the GIS for Beginners Digitizing folder and call the new shapefile in step 13 Land Use Interpretation. In step 14, click Save and the file will automatically be added as a layer, and once it's made editable, it will be ready to digitize into. And that's all for this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.